What's up, guys? I got a new bow in the back seat. It's a new Prime RVX. Can't wait to get behind it. I'm headed down to the pro shop right now. We're gonna get it all set up, run through specs, do a speed test, a whole 9 yards, and get it ready for hunting season. Just got to Ross Outdoors. Love these guys over here, been coming here forever. So let's get this bow all set up, go bother Grady.
Too many of them. Hello there. How are you?
Good, got a new bow for you to set up?
That's not loud.
What are you doing here, Grady?
I am leveling the sight rail itself to the bow so that when Josh dials his pins down, you're not going to start having them peter off to one side or the other, because if this rail is crooked and he starts dialing, it's going to come off to this side, and that's a lot of times what we see with people coming in and saying, oh, I've got odd right left misses at distance. It generally is that there is a form of sight axis that has been messed up. Coming your way, watch out. That's close because it was on a prime already.
All right, Grady. So this is the new RVX from Prime. What is the difference between this and the RevX?
So a lot of it is, I'd say, compatibility with systems that are starting to become more popular, prevalent in the industry. You've got Picatinny mount on the front, so that helps center the gravity on everything. I mean, I just took the sight housing off, but you can see the mount is right there in the center. You also have the dovetail mount. You can kind of see the top of it here behind the epsilon rest that Josh has. So you can integrate, QAD is the universal mount handskis. You still do have the option here to run a standard quiver if that's what you elect to do, or you can run a standard sight mount. You do have the rear tap that was on the RevX last year, so you can have the shift lock prime quiver that comes off the back here and sits ridiculously tight to the bow, actually underneath the limb, so it's one of the tightest quivers, if not the tightest quiver on the market. Same exposed face stabilizer bushings, so a lot of guys, if you've run prime for a couple years, remember having to put brackets on the inside of the riser to catch threads. Now you have the exposed flat face here. Bow is ridiculously light. I've been pretty fortunate. I've had one for about 3 or 4 months now, just messing with bows and trying to tinker with them. And when we got it first and I took it out of the box, weighed the RevX 4 with limb dampeners, with flex air dampener, string stop, factory strings and cables, it was 4.4 pounds, which was really, really shocking to me how a 34-inch axle-to-axle bow can be that light, because now we're starting to compete with carbon bows across the industry, really. Still have the same billet spacers, in my opinion, the most dependable spacers on the market. So those are machined aluminum. They click on, click out. Bring it to a pro shop, and any prime dealer should be more than happy to help you. Making adjustments there. Same nano grip with the aerogel underneath. Not only gives you the ability to almost adjust draw length about 1/4 inch if you take that back plate off, which is what I end up doing most of the time, because it gains you that 1/4 inch, but having this almost kind of rib texture face here gives you a good solid grip on your hand, and the aerogel underneath allows you to have that nice neutral riser temperature, so you're not going to get the sting in your hand when it gets super cold. Also, for us working here at the pro shop, Bryson, one of my other techs that's standing right there, can attest to it. People come in all the time because we decide to live in Arizona and it's really, really hot, and they hand you a bow and we immediately have to set it down because of how hot it is. Primes, we generally don't have to do that because that aerogel material, and you can see actually a little sneak of it right there. That white material almost looks like the 3M tape. But same core cam, same core mods, just kind of don't fix it if it ain't broke type thing. I was getting a little bit more speed out of it than my RevX last year, which was awesome. And then for us as techs, they have the cheat sheet for all of your draw lengths hidden behind the lower dampener right there. Super easy to tune, but yeah, that's kind of your Cliff Notes, a little more in-depth than Cliff Notes, version of what's going on with the RVX 34.
Sweet. I'm excited to shoot this thing. Oh, that's me. So peak needs to go down. Point right. That feels really good. That feels really good.
They're really comfortable.
Yeah.
You said peak was a little too high.
Yeah. What do we do? What are we doing, Grady? We got a point right tear.
I'm going to use my handy dandy tool, but So this little guy, I just have to loosen the axle, pop the spacer off, the little billet spacers I was talking about earlier, and then I am going to bias the cam one direction, which means more space on the right side, because the point in paper tears tells you what side needs movement and what side needs more space. I'm just gonna go flip them and make them hopefully a bullet hole, or at least closer. Almost.
All right, so space the cams. Gonna shoot it through paper again and see what happens. Looks a little better. Show you guys. Take a look. All right, so that was the first shot. This is the second shot. So the point definitely came in more. So I'm gonna go give Grady the news and see what we do. Grady just bumped my rest over a tad. So yeah, we're gonna see what happens now. I think it's gonna be pretty close, if not in there. Well, that worked.
Done that a time or two.
3 shots. Got them all right here. First shot, second shot, third shot. Zingo! So Grady, what did you do? How far did you move the rest, and in what direction did you move the rest?
You got me while I was snacking. All the bow technicians out there will understand the lunch struggle.
Yes.
So with it being a point right tear, and we'll come over here. So that was shot 1, shot 2, and shot 3. So shot 1, we had done nothing. I had eyeballed center shot, we had eyeballed knock height, and we were using factory spacers. Nothing changed. As soon as I get that, okay, cool. Super easy. Flip the spacers top and bottom to a 3 width on the right, 1 width on the left, and those come with the bow in the little goodie bag that they give you. With the RVX, you're going to get the hard stops, and you're going to get the 3-in-1 tools and the limb-driven cord that attaches. So that took us to this. Pretty much cut it in half or a third, however you want to, whatever point you want to measure from. And then I took Josh's Epsilon rest, which nowadays micro adjust is the way to go. I think it makes life easier, not only with paper tuning, but with sighting in, broadhead tuning, everything, because tiny adjustments downrange make big changes. So I went 4 clicks, which is nothing on that rest. 4 clicks to the right, and we found ourselves at a pretty bullet hole.
Gosh, I love it when things are easy like that. That's been my experience so far with these primes, is they've tuned like ridiculously easy, no hiccups at all. So we're gonna get a knock set. We're gonna go on the range and get this thing all moneyed out. I just made that up, moneyed out at 20.
So on this end, you can see standard draw stop. The new G5 bows come with this elongated one. So in that little tracky right there, I can go here to like almost 90% let off, or I can go out there to 80% let off. And go back and forth and fine tune it to the holding weight that the individual wants. They do have a little bit of factory red Loctite on there. I always replace it with my own little bit of gel Loctite, because that holds up better to vibration. And then throw it all the way out, so he has his 80% let off requirement, and tighten. So now he has the appropriate let off for states that require different standards than us here in Arizona, and make sure he doesn't get a visit from the local Department of Wildlife Resources or game warden or whatnot and owe a ticket, because then he's going to be pretty pissed at me.
Appreciate that. Grady's always looking out for me.
Sweet.
Almost that's that high.
Right with me.
Flip line. So started right here, made an adjustment, got it right here. So I'm gonna take a couple more shots there, and if it keeps hitting right in that spot, then we'll make another adjustment.
All of them? Pretty much all of them. Yep.
That one was in there.
Yep.
Ouch. Yeah, that was good. Hit the arrow. Hope it's not broken.
I think that knock probably is.
Yeah, that looks pretty.
Got it just a little bit.
All right, guys. So peep height is good. Got it pretty well set at 20. He needs to adjust second axis on there because we took some screws out here to get everything set. So then I'll come back in here and get the really get it like dialed in the like set middle of the middle, if that makes sense. Busting knocks, so it's flying good, it's grooving good. Pretty excited.
Redid the second axis after doing that big gang adjustment. Just double checking. When you take parts apart and you put them back together, I'm OCD. I like double checking a lot of stuff. So just in case in that new face that contacts each other, the tolerance wasn't absolutely perfect. I just like double checking, and then
this guy right here, we had to take those screws out and take the housing off and move it. So
it's just so you do all of that, and yes, it's a lot harder and it's more confusing and there's more parts and whatnot, but you do that because then you don't run out of micro adjust. You don't max things out one certain direction. It allows you to keep things kind of in a neutral zone so that you don't vary off one way or the other with tolerances, axes, because the longer you stretch things out, then once you go to an extreme, it's a longer lever arm, you can tweak stuff easier. So I like just keeping things more durable.
All right, guys, bow is shooting money. Those last two arrows are touching. That's exactly where I was aiming, because Grady didn't want me to aim in the middle of his target and put holes in his caution tape. So I aimed just off to the right of that black part on the tape. Yeah, everything's awesome. Unfortunately, we can't do the chrono. These guys are kind of going through some adjustments in their range here, so stuff is kind of crazy, laying all over the place at the moment. So we'll have to do that another day, but nonetheless, next up, I'm going to be heading to the range. get this thing sighted out to long distance and stuff. I can't wait to spend more time with this thing in the field. This is going to be the bow that I bring with this Coues deer season in January, and I'm super excited for that. If you like the video, please hit thumbs up. If you like the channel, please hit subscribe, and until next time, I'll see you in the next video.